Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, it's all about the least of these, the least of these, the least of these. That's what we're talking about on this morning. And I really uh, am really looking at this manna as being a manna that really is about informing you and empowering you. So often we get in situations as believers and we don't have all the information that we should have, and you cannot just trust the major media, or you can't just trust the government to always give you the information that you need. I am a believer in that one of the jobs, it's a traditional job, and of the African American pastor is to bring to his or her congregants what is happening in society as it relates to them and how it's going to impact them. And so on yesterday, I dealt with a few things. I talked about that whole piece about the attempted assassination and how we need to look at that. If you look at my post on last night, you will see some additional things. And so this morning, I want to deal with the least of these, Project 2025. The least of these, Project 2025. I said, Bishop, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you in a moment. Just hang on. I got to greet some people. The Manna fam is in the house on this morning, and I got to greet them. Then we're going to share the least of these, hashtag Project 2025. If you know what Project 2025 is, I want you to put it in the chat area. Put it in the chat area if you know what I'm talking about. Good morning, Verena. How are you? Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Good morning, Joyelle. How are you? Lydia, how are you on this morning? Dawn, how are you on this morning? Vaughn, how are you on this morning? Deacon Joe, how are you on this morning? Brother Pope, how are you on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Ella, my home girl, how are you on this morning? Brother Nesbitt, how are you? Happy birthday. Didn't you have a birthday yesterday? What were you, 21 yesterday? I thought I saw something with you having a birthday. Shout out if you did to Brother Nesbitt. Birthday was he was 21 yesterday. 21 in his own mind. That's what he was. Kaminsky, how are you on this morning? Dyer, how are you? Ramona, how are you on this morning? Pamela, how are you on this morning? Elder Jan, how are you? Praying for you, lifting you up on this morning. You already know what I'm going to be talking about. What I'm talking about this morning is the least of these, hashtag Project 2025. And if you know what that means, then put it in the chat area. Put it in the chat. I know what it means, and put what you think what it means in the chat area. Good morning, Lena. How are you? Wendy Brown, how are you on this morning? How are you all on this morning? Let me get to some more people on this morning here. Yeah, put it in the chat area. If you know what Project 2025 is, put it in the chat area that you do know what it is, and a little brief summary, if you will, of what you believe it to be. Uh, Put it in the chat area. I'm just trying to wait. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you? I want to see. I want to see. What did you put there? If you know what Project 25 is, an activist American conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C., founded in 1973. Did you Google that, Brother Joe? Deacon Jordan, did you Google that? I mean, come on now. That's so accurate here. You're on point here, but there's more. What have they published? What have they published? What have they published? Now, you say, now, is this a Manna fam for real? Yes, it is, because as I said, I believe deeply that the one of the responsibilities of the Black church and African American pastors is to make sure that their congregants are informed as to the things that are going on in society, the culture, and in particular, the government, how it's going to impact them. Good morning, Sint. How are you on this morning? Yeah, I believe that deeply, and that's what this is about on this morning. I did some of that on yesterday. Did it that, and as we get closer to the election, I'm going to be sharing even more. Going to be sharing even more. So talk to me. Talk to me. Do you know what Project 2025 is? And can you give a little summary of that? I have time. I'll wait. Talk to me. Well, I guess that means that you are familiar with it. Therefore, therefore, it is my job as a pastor in a black church um, to share with you because you really need to know this. Project 2025 comes out of a conservative think tank, and their positions are um, with respect to Trump getting in office, what they believe should take place when he gets in office. It's their roadmap. It's their roadmap. It is what they think should be done in this country with respect to that. So before I get into that, it is going to be the text because whenever I share these things with you, it always is viewed through the lens of scripture. So the text to talk, the takeaway, here's the text, and then we're going to come to the application of this project 2025. All right, here we go. The text I want you to look at this morning, and I'm going to read a little more than typically, and that is Matthew 25, 41 or so says, then he will say to those on his left, depart from me, you cursed, into eternal fire. For I was hungry and you gave me no food. I was thirsty and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger and you did not welcome me, naked and you did not clothe me, sick and in prison and you did not visit me. Then they also will answer, saying, Lord, listen, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison and did not minister to you, didn't serve you? 45. Grab this, y'all. Then he will answer them, saying, truly, I say to you, as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. You didn't do it to the least of these, and therefore you did not do it to me. In other words, as you treat the least of these is how you understand your relationship with Jesus Christ. To do it unto them is to do it unto Christ. It's not to do it unto them, it's not to do it unto Christ. It is ignoring who Christ is and what he has called us to. Now, Bishop, you say, now what does that have to do with Project 2025? What does that have to do with that? And how should we view those kinds of things? In Project 2025, there is a litany of things that this foundation says that they want to get done in the country. And I'm just going to mention a couple of them right quick. One of them is tax reform, giving more money to the rich. Tax code is a redistribution of wealth. I want you to grab that. And it is what we take and then we give it to those who we want. That's what the tax code is. It's a redistribution of wealth. Therefore, when you say we're going to uh, not take as much money from the wealthy who does not need that done, they can afford it, and continue to take more money from the middle class and the poor, then you are doing things unto the least of these. Come on, hang in there with me. I need you to grab this morning, and I need you to share this right now, while we are even talking about it. Immigration says, you know what? Too many people of color is getting in this country. Now, of course, we need to have strong borders, but our laws are geared toward Europeans getting in and anybody of color not. And they're saying, just stop all that, because the colorization of this country is meaning that eventually we will be the minority, majority culture talking. Healthcare saying that, okay, repeal uh, Obama healthcare, the Affordable Care Act, if you will. When you do that, the least of these does not have insurance. Medicaid reform. Convert all Medicaid reform to a block grant and give it to the states. Now, states' rights, always notice, I want you to grab this, man of fam. Whenever you hear stuff about states' rights and giving things to the states so that they can do what they want to do with it, don't you know that's another code word of of racism? It's another code word because you'll take a red state and those who are in the least will get nothing. Right? Listen to me. Education policy, and these are a few things. I'll cover other things as we get closer to the elections. That there should be a school choice. School choice, as if public schools aren't hurting enough, but take public money and give it to religious schools under the auspices of um, vouchers and charter schools. Think about that. Think about that. I'm from North Carolina, and I remember clearly when all of this kicked in, when busing and all of this kicked in, there was white flight, and they started country day schools. I don't see as much as that here in the Midwest, but it certainly was in the South. So I just wanted to mention a couple of these things. Now, what does that have to do with the text? Jesus clearly is telling us when you don't take care of the least of these, that is antithetical to who I am. So, therefore, how is it then that this a conservative think tank who roots themselves, ground themselves in Judeo Christian ethic, they say, can then have this kind of approach, can say, then, all right, this is great, this is fine. No, it's contradiction to the text. These are the same people who exegeted the text that enslaved our forefathers. I want you to get that. Don't ever forget that. Here's the couple things I want you to grab. Number one, don't take the head fake. The head fake is this. The head fake is always look over here, and there we dealing with these sexual sins that these people are committing, and that's why you should go with what because we really believe in the Bible. No, you don't believe in the Bible. Because if you believed in the Bible, you would understand what Matthew 25 is talking about. Talking about Project 2025. How about reading Matthew 25:31 and following? Okay, am I making any sense? Second thing is always look between the lines. When you start hearing people talking about, okay, we need to make this a Christian country, then look between the lines. Look between the lines. Who's saying what? Watch the margins of what it's saying. All right. The third thing is now don't take the head fake, look between the lines. The third thing is pay attention to who is exegeting the text. If it's the same people that exegeted the text that enslaved our forefathers and foremothers and foreparents, then they don't have the right to speak into you and my life. They don't. They absolutely don't. They've already told us how they view things. So, what's your takeaway this morning? Here's your takeaway. Your takeaway is this: Jesus cares about the least of us, and so should we. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. As we kind of empower one another, as it is the job of the Black church and the Black pastors to do so. Don't take the head fake. Look between the lines. See who's exegeting the text. And know Jesus cares about the least of these. You want a Project 2025? Look at Matthew 25. Share the manna. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. Don't keep it to yourself. God bless you. And his face shine upon you and give you peace.